to receive current air quality information and guidelines for the duration of student outdoor activities based on air pollution levels. Schools can also post current localized air quality information on their own website, further helping protect public health and educating parents about air quality. For more information on how to become a Healthy Air Living school, visit healthyairliving.com and click on Schools. That's healthyairliving.com, Schools. From the San Joaquin Valley Air District, this has been your Healthy Air Living Report.
KXVS 92.1 KXVS.
Hello, Stockton. This is Darius with Divine Numerology. We're here today, and we're here to talk about the numbers and the frequencies. I want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in today, and thank you, and may you all be surrounded with love and light. Today we have a good show lined up for you today, and we're gonna talk about the number of the day. We're also gonna talk about some numerology books that are that will catch your eye and have some really interesting things for you. And we're also going to mention briefly a big person in the New Age field, New Age community, who has made a personal decision reflecting her truth, and it has affected many people in a big way. We'll talk back. We'll go on to those topics very shortly when we come right back from our break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Warm, stagnant weather may be the catalyst for ground-level ozone, but you can make a difference. From the San Joaquin Valley Air District, this is your Healthy Air Living Report. The valley's bowl-like shape and weather do help create the perfect conditions to breed high levels of smog. But the emissions we create are the main ingredient of this type of air pollution. What you do on a daily basis does make a difference. So help us reduce harmful emissions by living a healthy air life and thinking about where you can reduce your pollution-producing activities. We must leave no stone unturned when searching for ways to clean our valley's air and protect public health. For a list of ideas on how you can help, visit healthyairliving.com. That's healthyairliving.com. This has been your Healthy Air Living Report from the Valley Air District.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
Please turn off your engine. From the San Joaquin Valley Air District, this is your Healthy Air Living Report. Motor vehicles are responsible for a majority of valley air pollution, and vehicle idling produces a large amount of unnecessary emissions. Consider shutting off your engine, parking, and entering that restaurant or coffee house instead of going through the drive-thru. And when you're waiting to pick up your kids from school, remember the phrase, turn the key and be idle-free. Making these types of changes will help reduce wear and tear on your engine, save you gas, and save you money. Reaching our air quality goals and protecting public health should be a priority, one that can be achieved when we all work together. This has been your Healthy Air Living Report from the San Joaquin Valley Air District.
Stockton, we are back. And as you can see, I have this new hat. What it says is 1111. And there's a reason for it. The reason why I got this hat is because it's a very powerful number vibration. It's a number that a lot of people are seeing. And it's a way of me doing my own level of research. Because what I know about numbers and angel numbers is that whoever's supposed to see the number will see it. Whoever's not won't. They'll just miss it. But what it will do is it will draw me into around the right people who it's their time to see it, who need to see it, because it's an angel number. It's a message that's letting you know in general to be aware of your thoughts, to be mindful of what you're thinking at that time. And it's informing you also that you create your own reality. And so it's something to be aware of. Whenever you see that, if you look at the clock and it says 11:11, that's letting you know that it's really an important thing for you to be mindful of the things that are going through your mind. And if you like what it is that you're thinking, if you like the way that your emotions are feeling at that time, then keep on thinking that. Continue with that thought. But if there's something that you want to change, remember that you have the power within your own mind to create the reality that you want by thinking and holding that thought in your mind, in your conscious mind. And that's what this number here, 1111, is a reminder of. So to people who see it, you know, there's people who stop me and they're like, whoa, 1111, I just saw that the other day. I've been seeing it all over the place. And it's, you know, it's for those type of encounters too. People stop me and they say that. And it's them becoming more aware of what is around them. And it's a way of alerting them, hey, look, this number has meaning. You're not going crazy, because a lot of people think that, you know, so they think that something's wrong with them. They think that there's something weird. I had a conversation with my uncle a few days ago, and he told me, he said, hey, you know, I had this is my uncle in Oklahoma. He's been seeing these numbers, 2s and 1s repeating, and then he saw the number 333. And so that spooked him a little bit. And so he gave me a call and was curious as to what it meant, because he had seen certain numbers before, right before something life-changing happened to him. And so he was curious, hey, Darius, is this going to happen again? You know, what's going on? So I was able to give him a little bit of insight and show him some things that, or actually remind him of some of the things that he knows, and so that he could see that this is a message for him in a particular way. The number 333, if you happen to be seeing it, is a sign that the Ascended Masters are with you. And the Ascended Masters, if you want to know more about these beings, they're also divine beings that are masters from various points in history, various times. They include, first and foremost, Jesus. Then they include others like Krishna, Buddha, Thoth, and others that have ascended beyond normal human consciousness. That's a reason why they're called Ascended Masters, because they've ascended their level of consciousness. And depending on what your particular background is spiritually, that may have a big influence on which one of the Ascended Masters is around you at that time. If you have a primarily Christian background and you happen to see the number 333, then that may be an indication that Jesus Christ is with you and around you at that time. If you happen to be a Hindu, then 333 may mean that Krishna is around you, and other faiths as well, depending on what your spiritual background is. So that's one thing I shared with my uncle, and that made sense. that made sense, and it helped him to, say, oh, okay, well, this makes sense because this what happened last time I saw these numbers, and this is what I'm about to do. And then he said, Darius, you know what, I didn't tell you, but this is what's actually going on in my life, and what you said without me even telling you hit the nail right on the head. And we had a really nice conversation. But that's one of the reasons why I got this hat too, is so that people can feel drawn to ask me those types of questions when I'm out in public. People won't know to say something. It's kind of like an automatic icebreaker. And people who have been seeing the numbers will see me wearing it and will say, hey, I just saw that. What does that mean? And so that's those are some of the reasons why I got this. Plus, I think it looks really cool. And it feels good. It just feels good. I don't know why really, but it just does. I think it's because of the frequency of the numbers on the hat. And +1 is my life path. So it's actually working with my numbers as well. But going on to another subject, I want to talk about the number of the day. The number of the day today is the 6th. And the number 6 resonates with the energies of love, harmony, balance. It resonates with adjustments within our relationships. 6 is a number of nurturing, of warmth. It's the number that separates the house from a home. It's the house turned into a home. It's the number of marriage. The relationship within a marriage, and the family that comes as a result of the marriage. The funny thing about it is that the number 3, when you look at 3 is actually the father, the mother, and the son. They make 3. The family is, 3 plus 3 gives us 6. So that plus another, the extension of it, the expansion of the family, 3 and 3 gives us the domestic life, the domestic home vibration number. So today is definitely a good day to spend with family. Today's a good day to take care of relationships, spend time with those that you love, enjoying their company, and really taking care of also responsibilities that need to get done. Really good day for grocery shopping, getting food, even cooking, music, eating, any type of get together you're planning on having. Today's a really good day for that. Today's a good day for earthly enjoyment. That's what 6 represents, earthly satisfaction. And we happen to have, like, today I got Dustin. Dustin,
hey, Darius.
He's on with me. And he's actually doing my soundboard with me today.
Yep.
Thanks, Dustin.
No problem. Filling in for Donovan.
Yeah. And, it's been a while since we actually spoke about numerology. But I mentioned that you had some questions earlier, and I was just wondering what some of those questions might have been.
So 11, as your new hat says.
Yeah.
What makes 11 a great number?
Well, 11 is a great number because it's a master number. Mm-hmm. It's a number of masters. It's a number of illumination. It's a number of brightness. It's an inspirational number also. You'll find that a lot of people who they're born on the 11th or the 29th, or they have a life path that comes out to 11, they tend to do something very big with spirituality. And whatever they do, it tends to inspire a lot of people and help a lot of people to find the light within themselves. Basically, 11:11, when people see it on the clock, when they actually acknowledge it and pay attention to it, what it actually is a Lightworker activation code. So the funny thing is, in a way, when I got this hat, I was just like, cool, I want to get 1111, so I got it made. And what turns out to be the case is now when people ask me, it's like they're seeing this 1111 code. It's kind of like how certain things will activate a part in the brain that just makes it work. So that's how this particular number works. It's in a way, it's activating a certain part in people to get them ready for their spiritual mission.
Any famous people with the number 11?
That's so funny that you asked. I actually mentioned a very prominent individual, and this individual, her name is Doreen Virtue, and she recently made a very courageous decision. Courageous because she was living and following her own truth. However, it's controversial to many of the people that would listen to her, watch her videos on YouTube. She was one of the #1 sellers in tarot cards, oracle cards, books about angels, archangels, ascended masters, and a lot of people are in the spiritual community, the New Age, were taken aback by her decision to become to get baptized into the, I believe it was Episcopal Church, as a Christian. And that decision in and of itself, because of her history in the New Age movement, all those people that have bought her cards, I bought her cards, I bought her books and things like that. But looking at how they are viewing it, it's kind of tough for some people to take. So I did her numerology and found out that she was born on the 29th. She's born on a day that equals 11. And when I add up her full birthday, 29 plus 4 plus 1958, it gives me also a life path 11. So she, in all her spirituality, her spiritual work, doing those light working, activating people on their journey and to where their next steps are, she actually was living, she is 1111. Literally.
Yeah.
And so I did her numerology so that I could find out, get a little bit of insight into some of the things that she's been experiencing. And I found that she has just entered a personal year 7. And 7 is the number of truth. 7 is the number of spirituality. It's the number of
7-Eleven.
Right, 7-Eleven, right? It makes sense.
Wonder if the owners of the mini mart actually came up with the numbers for a reason.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, if you take a look at the history of 7-Eleven and the people that actually founded it, you'll find some interesting things with their birthdays. Okay.
Go back. You were finishing your point, though, before I interrupt you. 7, though.
No worries, man. What I found, she is in a personal year 7. Just entered it. Life path 11, day 11. So she's really adjusting, making adjustments as far as her spirituality is concerned. And she has, this is something that was not an easy decision for her to make. She's in her particular age, her age right now, that the age that she's in, is specifically the age of change. Not necessarily the 7 as a personal year, not that part. What I'm talking about is she's 1958. The 5 cipher in her current age is the number of change. And it's meeting with another digit that is of conclusions, of endings, of things that no longer serve you to your benefit. So many times that can be challenging. This 9 also brings in the necessity of working with the public, working with the masses, giving of the self, and not being selfish, but working in a way that benefits all of humanity. And she's made this big change, and it just makes a lot of sense considering the particular time in her life that this is, and also the fact that this is a 7-year. This is definitely a time where she is finally speaking what her truth is. And if you listen to her interview, which is on YouTube, or actually her video talking about it, she's felt this way for some time, but has been challenged in coming to grips and in actually making a decision as to what to do. And, you know, so because it hasn't been spoken about so thoroughly, so outright, it has taken many people by surprise. The amazing thing about this is her name, Doreen Virtue, when it's calculated according to the ancient Chaldean numerology, her name equals the number 52. Now, here we are. 5 and 2 gives us 7. Now, specifically on her chart, she would be in the pinnacle number 7, and in a personal year 7. So we have a lot of 7s lining up for her, meaning that as far as coming to her spiritual truth is concerned, this was the best decision for her to make at this time. And it's just all these 7s that are stacking on top of each other along with her name that it equals. It's very, very, very powerful. And her name, when done from the perspective of from modern numerology with the Pythagorean method, Doreen Virtue gives us the number 66, which is also a very powerful vibration. Double 6. And this just makes a lot of sense when I look at this chart, because 6 is that number of love. Balance today is the 6th, and we're talking about this. And the purpose of this conversation is so that people that are listening that may be puzzled or confused by that decision that she made, for them to not lose, for them to know that it's just a part of her journey. It's a part of the decision, the thing that she agreed to do before she came to the planet. And that, that's her path, that's her choice. And just as each one of us is honored and privileged with free choice and to be free will agents, so is she as well. And it's just her decision that she had made, and that I'm saying all this because many of the videos that are out there are speaking their thoughts and viewpoints on it, and I'm just putting it out into the air from a numerological standpoint so that some understanding can be had. But that's what I have for talking about Doreen Virtue today. We're gonna go to our break, and we'll be right back. We're gonna have a guest coming up pretty soon in a few moments, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
right, I turned down a little bit. Okay, so I know we totally just cut off like everyone's favorite song, but we wanted to tell everybody that we have a new YouTube channel, and we need you to subscribe to the new channel because we're not uploading or streaming on the old channel anymore. It's still the Voice of Stockton.
It's gonna be fresh, brand new
content,
great content.
Yeah,
only exclusively on KXVS.
Yes, if you and on this video will be a link in the description where you can click it, but if you want to type it in, we made it real easy for you. Bit.ly, the short link, bit.ly. So you can type bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. So bit.ly/subscribe_KXVS_YouTube. That's easy enough, right, Donovan? Donovan is a silent minority.
Speechless.
I'm trying to get my accent right. Hold on. I'm just throwing over it in my head. Let me start. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. How to do it? All right, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go subscribe to this new channel. It sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, what's different about this channel than the last one?
Well,
what's changed?
Well, we're making some changes. We're always doing something new, but this is something that we had to do this, and we've had to do this for a while. So this new channel, it's really not much different, except the channel will be different. So all our new content is going on the channel, and we're going to migrate all our videos over to that channel as well, and we won't be using the old channel. So if you're waiting on that channel, you'll be missing it. So please do subscribe to our new channel, and it's real easy. Follow us on Facebook, thevoiceofstockton.org. You can find us everywhere. Keep watching us on our live streams, but that's it. We just wanted to break in and tell you that.
And let's make Stockton better together.
That's right. Make Stockton better together. All right. So, you know what? Let's start this track over because this is the best bomb song. And thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. KXVS, the Voice of Stockton with Donovan and Mr. Details, Dustin Breakwell. This is Governor Don signing off.
You're listening to the Voice of Stockton on KXVS.
Attention, Stockton. Are you experiencing a transition in business, relationships, health, or your life purpose? I'm Darius Oliver, and I help people to look within and find clarity and direction in their constantly changing lives. Tune in and listen with me as I go deep into your patterns and personal cycles through divine numerology. Any life transition you're experiencing can be illuminated by an in-depth analysis of your chart. For the first time in Stockton, you now have access to a professional numerologist here to help you light your own way. I'm in the booth to help you find your own truth. Tune in to Divine Numerology every Friday at 3 p.m. on The Voice of Stockton.
Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology, and we're back. We are back, and we are with Dustin. We got Dustin here, and we also have an awesome guest with us. But not just anybody. See, this person, I remember last week, we had a buddy of mine who gave me encouragement as far as, doing the podcast. I had recorded, I recorded something at his place before a while ago. Now, this person here, I actually met them last year before I had even conceived the idea of doing a podcast. I met her at it was a music fest, a music event at Victory Park, and she was just looking around, looking for some talent, looking for some people, in the music, just kind of, she looked like a reporter, looked like a news reporter. I'm like, who is this? Well, that looks interesting. What's she talking about? They're just something. Yeah, there was just something that drew me to her. Like, there was just something in the aura, something. I didn't tell you this. I didn't share this with you, but it really was. It was just something about the aura that attracted me to you. Hey, what are you doing? And she said, hey, we're looking for some what, you remember what you said? You were saying
talent. I'm always looking for talent, and even today, I just found some other talent. But whenever I come across somebody that has that extra pizzazz, the extra, it's like a halo. I'm drawn to them too, just like you are. And what attracted me to you is your voice, and then your beautiful look. And I thought, you know what? This could be a really good radio person. And I told my friend Julio, did you hear his voice? And he says, no. I said, he's got a radio voice. Listen to it. So let's go talk to him. So I was actually passing out information. If it wasn't a flyer, it was had something to do with the radio, because whenever there's an event where there's a lot of people, I like to go over there and just share everything that I have. And if it's in flyer form, then I share with everyone about the radio station. And since it is a community radio, I try to take advantage of every opportunity that I get to get out there.
Yes, and I want to thank you for being on the show today also.
Oh, you're very welcome.
This is Betty, everyone. For those of you who have not known, this is Betty, and she's the one who heard my voice, recorded my voice in the very beginning. She's the one who said, hey, I need you to say something. I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? She's like, say 92.1 Voice of Stockton, KXVS.
And you did it very well.
and so I said it, and she was like, oh,
bingo.
And so here I am. I'm at 92.1
That's
KXVS,
right.
Voice of Stockton.
You took my advice, because I remember telling you got to come to the radio. You got a radio voice. You do really well there. Please look us up. And I gave you that little flyer, and I said, call us.
And here I am.
There you go. You follow through with it.
Yes, you gave me the initial push.
Yes.
And the crazy thing about that, I had no idea that I did not know that this is what it would lead to. I mean, I had hoped and I imagined what it could possibly lead to, but the actual reality of it, this being the outcome, was a misty, vague concept idea in my mind. Mm-hmm. But you know what? We got something really big coming up, and I think that it's important that people have a little bit more understanding about what it is. And that's, a big part of the reason why I had you on the show, why I wanted to invite you, is so that you can, there's a lot of misunderstanding about this thing called Dia de los Muertos.
Day of the Dead. Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you could give us some insight into what it means for people in general, but especially to people who observe that tradition.
Okay, a lot of people don't understand it, because the way the Mexican individuals celebrate it is by introducing the skeletal figure. And a lot of people think, oh, evil, but it's not that. It's what it is. Well, let me go back. This has a lot to do with Catholic holidays, and this has to do with the Saint Day. And the festivities in Mexico started from way back. I'm talking way back. And so their way of remembering their loved ones is through a festivity like this. And I'm sure you've seen the altars, the altares.
Yeah.
And the altars is where they come in and add things of their loved ones on there. And it's just a display of their pictures of things that they love doing, and things that that the family knows that they like. For instance, foods, for instance, certain flowers, for instance, drinks, things that they love doing. If it was a charro, the hat, if it was something that they love dressing up in, then they bring that in there too. It's all in the altar. And that's just recognizing their loved ones in a very special way. They want to remember them forever. And that's their way that they could remember them. And I think that's really neat, because everybody celebrates their loved ones a different way. The Mexican people love to celebrate it as a holiday, to remember them all. And it's, they, even on the day that they pass, like, for instance, when my father passed, Daddy sang with the mariachi. And the mariachi came and serenaded my father right there, when he was being put down into the ground.
Wow.
and they played all of his favorite songs. But they were also mourning because, you know, that was their friend.
Right.
And whenever they got together, I swear, they were complete mariachi. And I kid you not, Daddy was the voice. Daddy could sing. And I remember my father even saying, you know, the day I go, the day I pass, you know, I want the mariachi. I want to be able to be remembered in a positive way, in a happy way. And I remember that day. Sure enough, the mariachi Los Jilgueros came over and they were playing the whole time. And I recall looking down the freeway, 99 freeway, and I could not see the end of the tail of the cars because it was a caravan. And it just went on and on and on. So many people came and paid their respects to my father. Daddy was very well known in this area. He always helped the Mexicano in every area that you can imagine, and work especially. So they call Daddy the legend in this area. And I'm thinking, you know what? Someday I'm going to write a book of my daddy because you know what? He was a legend. He touched so many people's hearts and made a difference in their lives. But that is a day that we remember our loved ones, you know. And if it is to build an altar with everything of their favorites, everything that they loved and liked in the photograph, then they'll do that. And it starts on October the 31st and it goes all the way to November the 2nd. And that's when they say that the spirit is then released and gone to heaven. And so this is just remembrance of their loved ones. And this is their way of saying, you know, how much they love them and how much they miss them. You know, a lot of people have different ways of showing that. You know, they'll go to the cemetery and they'll leave flowers. They'll leave a candle. They'll leave just something cute, something that will attract. For the Mexican people, they love to do the altars and they love to bring everything that they know that one individual enjoyed in life. And that's a remembrance of them. That's all. And so that's how they do it. And it's nothing evil. It's nothing dark. It's all full of love and memory of their loved ones. Very, very simple.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes sense because it's a tradition that is surrounded with love.
Very much so. Very strong.
Surrounded with the memories and the remembrance of the loved ones. And I can relate to that because my father just passed.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
On the 22nd. Thanks. And, you know, it's just like that. It's a memorial of who that person was to you, and it's an opportunity and a way every year that gives you the chance to pay respect, to appreciate, you know, to acknowledge and appreciate their legacy.
With prayer as well.
Right.
Prayer is really big.
So, will you tell me a little bit how the role that prayer plays in Day of the Dead?
You know, I recall when I was in Mexico when I lost my grandpa. There were so many women that came from the top of the mountain, came down to pray. And when they would pray, oh my goodness, it gave you chills. You know, it was a strong sense of being. And when they got together, it was almost like a chant, but it was in prayer. And every time the chant started, you know, low, it would gravitate at a high tempo. And I was a child. I was trying to understand what was going on. All I knew is I lost my grandpa, and it was just straight prayer. And you know, they had the rosary, and with the rosary, every pearl or every circle in the rosary was a prayer. So you can imagine they would go through the whole rosary with prayer.
Wow.
And they would start early morning and end up late at night.
That's powerful.
And it was a powerful chant, and it was all prayer to the Lord. And I do recall that as a child, and very powerful, very powerful. I do recall. So we all, you know, of course, mourn certain different ways for our loved ones. And that was the first time that I ever seen that type of mourning in Mexico. It was a little different. And I realized, you know, once I became older, wow, it was pretty powerful, the power of prayer.
I think it's interesting, Betty, that you mentioned the day that it falls on.
October 31st, that's when it begins.
And it's so common, me myself, even before having known what, Dia de los Muertos is.
Mm-hmm. You say it very well, by the way.
Thank
Good
you.
Pronunciation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people out there probably associated with Halloween because it falls on the same day.
Right.
With Halloween's costumes and Halloween's candies and things like that. But even the origin of Halloween, and why did they choose the day of the 31st to celebrate that? And it's so interesting that you mentioned that Dia de los Muertos is the same. That day, the 31st of October, is actually a specific time in the year. And some people don't know this, but when the veil between the spiritual realm and the material is thin. And it gives a really great opportunity for us to get in contact with those who are on the other side.
Wow. Well, it is believed that the spirit of the dead visit their families on October 31st and leave on November the 2nd. Depart.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that.
And yeah, it gives you goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Funny thing, November the 2nd is the 11th month on the 2nd. It's kind of like this hat. It's like 11.
11.
Except, it's 11 too. But, but it just makes sense when you look at it. I mean, from this perspective. And then other cultures, how they have specific rituals at this particular time for the same purpose of getting in contact with their loved ones that have passed. Showing, maybe they don't do that. Maybe they don't actively try to get in touch with their relatives that have passed. Maybe they just want to show respect and honor to that legacy that the person left. But perhaps they feel that loved one's touch. They feel that loved one's presence.
Yes.
At that time. And maybe they don't know all the full story, but they feel it. They say, oh man, it feels like dad's here, or it feels like grandpa's here, or it feels like, somebody is there. Crossing over at that particular time.
Yes.
So on Dia de los Muertos, what would you say to those that are listening is one of some good things to do to get ready for that?
Well, a lot of people prepare with if they have a loved one that they want to remember, is prepare that altar. Do an altar and put in all the things that they love having, down to the drink, to the foods, to their favorite hobbies. Instruments, if they played an instrument, something that they know that they love doing, because that's gonna make them feel really good. Being remembered. And that's why I mentioned my father, because Daddy was a charro. Daddy loved to wear his hat and his charro outfit, and he loved to sing with the mariachi. And the man had a voice. He had a very, very good voice.
You have a nice voice too. So
well, thank you. I can't sing with a darn, but he sure could. He actually made like 2-3 records.
Wow.
Yeah, before he left us. So yeah, that's what I think. A good altar to remember them and pay a tribute to them, because that's exactly what it means. You're honoring the loved one. You don't want to forget them. You want to remember them forever. I know I do. And a lot of times I feel my father's right there with me. I sense him.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. And sometimes when there's things that I cannot have done or I cannot do, I kid you not, it happens in a weird way, but it gets done. And I know it's Daddy. Weird things that happened to me in the past that I know it was him. Wow. I know it because I could feel it. And just the way it was all played, I'll go back and think about it, and then I'll go back and talk to some people and ask them exactly what happened and what drove them to go there.
Right.
So certain things, I still feel like my daddy is still near me. And, I'm not afraid to say that because I sense them.
And I remember in your chart, your numerology chart, when
Yes.
I did that, it showed that you have a great level of sensitivity for those types of things.
Yes. And I still have some questions on another day in
Awesome.
regards to that.
Awesome.
So we will touch base on that and see what we can come up with, because I'm very interested in one area. So definitely we'll be in contact. But this is a special time, and people, especially the children, they shouldn't be afraid of it, because all it is just remembering your loved ones. The Mexican people just show it in a different way. And it's always, painting their faces as a skeletal figure. But if you notice that they paint flowers and they do, squirrels and, kind of stuff to not make it look so evilish. So that way they don't scare anybody. But that's something that they do, because they're remembering their loved ones. And yeah, so when the children come across that, not to be fear or not to think ill or evil, because it's all in good. It's all good. So
I appreciate you coming on and
you're very
explaining
welcome.
that. Is there any other last things that you would like to announce or speak of before we go on a break?
I know they're going to have Dia de los Muertos at the Mexican American Heritage Center, and that's off Market Street, if I'm not wrong, downtown in Stockton. So I know that they're preparing to do that, and they have been doing that for the past years now. I did partake with them for 2 years, and beautiful event. So much to do for the kids. And I remember I was even face painting. I think I was getting into it one day with that I did partake. And I noticed that it's grown now. It's much bigger, and they have more to offer. There's always music. There's always food. A lot of fun. So as soon as you find out, let's see, I'm not sure on the date, or else I'd give it to you. I'm thinking it's not on the 31st. I'm thinking it's on a different date. So if I can get you, whoever's interested out there, to call the Mexican American Heritage Center off Market Street in Stockton, California. That way you can find out exactly what date they're going to have that event and what time it's going to take place. And believe me, bring your kids, bring the whole family. They will have fun. They'll have something to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how do they find out? What do they contact?
They can contact Grace at the Mexican American Heritage
Okay, so
Center.
you hear that, guys? Grace at the Mexican American Heritage Center.
Right there, off Market Street.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we hope to see you there. Hope that, if that's something, if this is a way that you would like to show remembrance and appreciation to your loved ones, hopefully you can partake, and you'll have fun and enjoy it, as well as experience some peace and satisfaction from it. So we're gonna go right to break. Thank you once again, Betty, for being on the show.
No problem. Pleasure.
And thank you for introducing me to the station and everything.
Total success. Total success.
And we'll be right back,
Getting there.
okay, guys? Thanks.
Did you know one gas lawnmower emits about the equivalent of 40 late model cars? From the Valley Air District, this is your Healthy Air Living Report. Electric mowers are easier to use, lighter, and quieter than gas mowers, with no spills and no emissions. And they work just as well on an average size lawn. Now it's easier than ever to replace your old gas mower with an electric model and get as much as $250 off with Clean Green Yard Machines, the lawnmower trade-in program from the Valley Air District. Just visit the grants section of valleyair.org for program details, an application, and a list of all the participating scrap metal dealers in the San Joaquin Valley where you can turn in your old polluting gas mower. Once you've purchased one of the many eligible electric mowers, send in your receipt, application, and verification that you retired your old gas burner, sit back, and wait for your money. That's valleyair.org. Clean Green Yard Machines. This has been your Healthy Air Living Report from the Valley Air District. The off-season is the best time to take advantage of huge grants to change out your fireplace or old wood stove with something cleaner and get your EPA-certified wood or pellet-fueled device registered before the next season begins. From the Valley Air District, this is your Healthy Air Living Report. Incentives are still available for Valley residents to receive $1,000 and low-income residents to receive $2,500 to upgrade from open hearth fireplaces and older non-certified wood stoves and inserts to new EPA-certified devices and an additional $500 when upgrading to a natural gas device. And registering your clean-burning wood or pellet stove or insert with the Valley Air District allows you to burn more frequently during winter months while still reducing pollution. Visit valleyair.org and find out more about the Burn Cleaner program and how to register your EPA-certified wood or pellet burning heater. This has been your Healthy Air Living Report from the Valley Air District.
Hello, we're Darius with Divine Numerology. We're back. We have Betty on with us. We are about to close the show, but before we do, I wanted to touch on a couple books that I brought for those of you who are interested in learning about numbers. Let me grab this one real quick out of the bag. So I got two. One of them is Live Your Life by the Numbers by Sylvia DePietro. Your Guide to Numerology. Right here, Live Your Life by the Numbers. This is a really good book I found because it gives you pretty much everything, and it comes from the perspective of Pythagorean numerology, which is utilizing the Western concepts, the Western calculations. Uses the 26 letters in the alphabet that we have them today, from the traditional ordering value, and it goes over everything from personal years. I'll look at the table of contents for you. It's got a part 1, the numbers, and part 2, the letters. Some of the it goes into some pretty advanced things in this particular book. One of the things it talks about is pinnacles of achievement. It talks about what to do and when, personal years, months, and days, universal vibrations. Then it talks about the letters. Some really advanced things that are in here are where it's talking about your best colors, eating by the numbers. What are some of the foods that we should eat if we're working with certain numbers? One of the things that I know, I'll tell you right now, if you are associated with the number 5 like myself, or if you have a life path 5, then oatmeal is really good.
That's one of my favorites.
So yeah, oatmeal is really good. Oatmeal tastes good. That's my opinion, but besides just tasting good, it actually it has a lot of health benefits, especially that resonate with number 5 individuals.
That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Down to the foods. Wow.
Down to the foods. Here's another one. Dress for success, best colors. So for the number 5, I'm speaking based on my own personal. Like, what's yours, for instance, Betty?
What is my favorite color?
Your the day of your birth.
Oh, December 10th.
So you're born on the 10th. So if I go to, I'm gonna take a look at eating. At the eating, I'm gonna go to 268 in this book. Let's see. And this is Live Your Life by the Numbers.
Live Your Life by the Numbers.
All right, so here, I'll read it. This is why I got a radio voice.
Yes, you do.
They gave it to me. Okay, so let's see. The food we eat can be a great asset, not only in maintaining and improving our overall health, but also in replenishing the body with the nutrients that it sorely lacks. This goal can be accomplished by eating foods that vibrate harmoniously to a specific personal day, month, and year, by eating foods that vibrate in color to a specific personal day, month, and year, and by replenishing the body by eating the foods that vibrate to the number or numbers that we lack. Powerful.
Wow.
So for the number 1, so we have a 1 personal day, month, and year. Eat chocolate, baked beans, salad, halibut, or foods that are red, such as tomatoes, strawberries, raspberries, cherries, beets, apples, radishes, or watermelon.
Wow. Well, you know what? Those are some of my favorites.
Is that interesting?
Yeah, it is.
Dustin, what's the number? What's the number of your birthday?
26.
So you're at 8. All right, so I'll go to 8. Oh wow. Okay, so here it is. Some of the foods that gravitate towards people born on the day, the 8th, 17th, or the 26th, are apple pie.
Yeah.
You like apple pie?
Yeah.
His favorite.
Cereal.
I'm not a big cereal fan, but okay.
Rice.
Okay. Rice, I like, yeah.
Foods that have beige. It even says chicken.
I love chicken. That's actually my favorite food.
Bacon. Rose, pink, and brown. Foods with rose, pink, and brown in them, such as grains, bran, pink grapefruit. Also, it suggests oatmeal, too.
Nice.
So those are some of the numbers, or some of the foods for that. Just to give a few. So this is a really good book, guys. You can check this out. Order it online. It's written by Sylvia DePietro. And Live Your Life by the Numbers, the other book that I have, which I'll talk about at another time. I believe maybe I've introduced this before. But it's called Numerology and the Divine Triangle by Faith Javane and Dusty Bunker. And so those are our recommended books, recommended reading for right now. If you guys want to learn a little bit about numerology, great introductions these books have. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for supporting us. And this is Darius with Divine Numerology. You have an awesome weekend and peace.